Hello everyone, welcome, or welcome back. You are listening to Unfiltered with D and G, as in Dan and George. I am George, this is my co-host Dan.
All right, and welcome to the next episode. This is episode 18 already, and you want to say cheers? We have something a little bit different today.
Cheers.
We're sharing this bottle of wine.
So sophisticated.
Right? This is a special relaxation night.
All right. Moscato.
Nice. This delicious bottle. We have a Moscato from Italy, right? Nothing says...
Straight from Italy.
Straight from Italy. Nothing says white trash better than a twist-off, right?
So, what's on our first topic?
Well, the reason I pulled out this wine, last episode I talked about doing something new every month, and I signed us up for a winery tour.
Oh.
So we're going to be going to Las Cruces. That's a
Las Cruces.
We're going to Las Cruces.
It's so exotic sounding.
It's very. And so there's a bunch of wineries up there, and we're going to go up there and try some wine and report back. But
okay, sure.
I think that's going to be fun. So I haven't been to too many wineries.
I have been to a few, but I'm not a wine connoisseur or a wine fanatic. I just went to these wineries because I was visiting my stepbrother in California, and it's one of those things where we needed something to do, and those are one of the things you do in California.
In California?
Yeah,
I was going to say that's the best of the best.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was good.
There.
It was pretty good. I want to say it was Castle that we went to. I'm not sure.
They're always very pretty.
It's California. It's wine country, I think.
I've been to a few wineries, but I haven't been to any in this area. So whether, in the El Paso area or Las Cruces, I really haven't been to any. So we're going to check one out and hopefully have an experience to share with the world.
All right, great. I always thought wine tasting was like more of the upper class type, what do you call it? Upper class type activity. And yeah,
we're going to be like the Jeffersons. We're moving on up, man. You know that. Moving on up.
I mean, Moscato is. At least I know it's. I'm not into the dry wines. I'm into sweet, drinks. Just and that's not.
Well, I need to
as a wine connoisseur, they probably think we're ghetto pretty much.
Well, sure, but you have to start somewhere.
But this is what I like, and I'm not gonna. I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm gonna like the dry wines or pretend because I'm not going to. I know already I'm not gonna like the dry wines, but I will taste some sweet wines and just do a taste test on sweet wines. And
I naturally like the sweet wines and the white wines, but I want to try just a little of everything.
Oh yeah, well, all right.
And we'll see. Maybe it'll be incredible. Maybe it'll just be horrible.
Maybe
either way, it's an experience, right? Either way, it's an experience. So
see a bunch of rich white people.
Yeah, there you go. You never know. But there's supposed to be a couple of phenomenal ones up there and in Las Cruces, so we'll see. I don't know. Like I said, if anybody knows of any here in El Paso, shoot us a message. Give us your recommendations on where to go and to try some new wines. But that's on my list of something I'm going to do, on my list of my monthly activities. I want to try something new.
All right, great.
So when it comes to online comments, we did have our first comment. This appears to be a woman who was...
appears to be a woman.
Well, the comment says, I was in Target today, and a guy beside me was saying fuck several times. It doesn't really offend me, but I think it was really inappropriate. And from there, she says she would like to know what a man's thought. So she's basically asking what our perspective or our opinion on cursing in public.
All right.
So what do you think on that?
Me personally, if you're out in public, I think you just right off the bat, first impression, if I'm in line and this guy doesn't know me and he's in line and he's talking to whoever he's talking to and he's cursing, I just feel like he's just ghetto or just a rude person, I think. Just right off the bat, just first impressions. Because he doesn't really, he's not considerate to the people around him. I don't know, who knows, maybe he looked in to see if there was kids around.
Right.
And then he just started cussing since he knows all just adults are around him. But still, I just think it's not, what do you call it? It's not very, I don't know if appropriate is the right word. It's not very, my vocabulary sucks, and I wish I knew more words to describe how.
But your gut reaction is negative,
right? Absolutely. Just because I just think
a person cursing is in poor taste. Even you could just say it's poor taste,
right,
poor judgment,
taste, poor.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's how I feel. But if we were alone in a room and he's talking to me and that's the way he talks, I kind of still feel that way because he doesn't know who I am. But to me, I don't care because we're just alone. Yeah. We're in a room, but it's not very professional. I don't know what setting it would be between me and
Target.
him. No, right. But in the public, it's obviously not professional at all. But if he just met me and we were talking and he just started cussing the way
Right.
we were just bantering between each other and he starts cussing. I don't know if that's a good way to give a first impression.
I was going to say first impressions would be poor, depending on your level, your status,
right?
Social status, I guess. But if you're ghetto and
Yeah.
you wouldn't even know the difference,
right?
Like, you don't know unless you know,
right?
But in this example, I would say, based on like what was the context of the saying "fuck" a lot? Is he telling a joke to a buddy right next to him? Was he on the phone? Was he upset? Did he stub his toe?
Oh, that's
I
true.
don't know.
That's true. It does depend on the context.
Yeah, if
he's talking. Yeah, that's true.
But if he's going up and down the aisles or by the register and he's just yelling "fuck" a lot, I mean, does he have Tourette's? I mean, what's going on? You making fun of this guy now because he's handicapped? I mean,
right.
It doesn't offend me either, but I was raised. I think the first 4-letter word I said was probably "fuck." I mean, so you're raised differently. It's not offensive, but it is inappropriate. But when you get to a certain level of life, that's not the right behavior.
Right, and it might not even be his fault. He could have been raised that way. That's the way he talks at home, and that's the way he thinks normal is. And,
right,
and he doesn't care what anyone else thinks.
And that's what I mean. When you don't know, you don't know.
Right.
He doesn't know it's inappropriate. And also, I would love to know the age of this person. So, is it a teenager who's just a dumb fuck? So yeah, I just said it myself. Or was he an old, crusty old man who just doesn't give a shit? He's got one foot in the box.
Right.
Like, he doesn't care either, And so, but, I think we're on the same side that even the person who wrote in wasn't really offended. It does seem inappropriate.
But it's enough to affect her in a way to ask the question.
Exactly. So I would say maybe on the fence line of that it's inappropriate, but no one's really offended. But if there were children around or other things, it's probably definitely something that should not be done. I mean, I do watch my language when I go out in public. I can do it. Anybody can do it.
I don't think it's classy is the right word. Not that I'm classy, but
at least you recognize you're not classy. You know what class is.
Right. At least kind of, know your surroundings.
I feel I'm pretty classy. Now that you brought that up, generally speaking. But I think people need to know when and where to act and how to act. And if you know the difference and you just don't act that way, but that's just, people who just don't care.
Right. Well, you can have an argument too that people are just some people don't care and they'll act the way they want to act because that's their true self.
True.
And if people get offended around them, so fuck them. If that's their attitude, you're not going to change them.
Right.
And just talking, it's funny because if it were an old guy, and we'll kind of be judgy a little bit because if they were, a guy in his 30s or whatever, and maybe how is he dressed? It's all in what setting, context, and age the guy's in.
Right.
If it's just some guy in his 30s and just dressed regular and he's saying this, we think he's a jackass. But if he was this old 100-year-old guy in a cane and he's just talking to someone else going, oh, fuck this, but we would think it's funny. Some people would just think it's hilarious. Oh, look at this cute old man. He's just sitting there conversating and he was just fuck this, fuck that. He was hilarious.
Right. It's all in the context.
It's just,
is he complaining to a cashier or a customer service rep and he's just fuck?
Or if he's just talking to his friend or his son,
True. But again,
he's old and, because anything old people do that's offensive otherwise to any other age, as opposed to if someone else other than someone old doing it, it seems like it's more accepted because they're old.
Absolutely. And so, in a sense, don't you feel like we give special treatment, or we just treat people differently?
Right. Absolutely.
That's why the Trump thing, when he says stupid things and it's inappropriate, and the world knows it's inappropriate, but a lot of people say, but look, he's in his 70s. You're not going to change the man.
Right.
He's been this way his whole life, and we just accept it. He's an old man. But I think everyone agrees, it's just not presidential.
Especially if you're right.
If you're the president. But everyone accepts he's an old kind of guy, and that's how he is. He's an East Coast kind of guy, and we curse,
That reminds me of a video I saw. It's this old guy, and it looks like he's in a home, right? So he's really old, and there's this nurse. He's following this nurse, or this nurse is leading him somewhere, and he's like, I want to show you my dick. Did you see that one?
I did.
Yeah, so
we find it funny.
Yeah, we find it funny, and someone's filming it. I don't know if it was a nurse that was filming it.
Right.
And he was just there. I don't care. I don't give a shit. And, she's like, hey, that's kind of inappropriate. I don't give a shit. I'll show you my dick. And then,
he's got 9 toes in the grave now, not
right.
1 foot.
So,
he's got 9 toes.
But people are more tolerant of that guy as opposed to someone. Otherwise, anyone else saying that,
you get thrown out.
Yeah, get thrown out.
Right.
They label him some sexual harassment and all that.
Right. Can you imagine that? 100-year-old man going to court because he sexually harassed his nurse? He's 100 years old, and
I guarantee you that guy's just going to cuss the judge out himself.
Right.
I would.
Care.
I'm
1 foot
is already in the grave. I think.
They'd probably give him better treatment treatment in prison
Well,
for an old 100-year-old man. I mean,
it's kind of like this.
those homes.
Another story I heard, social media, of course. This old lady, old lady's she's about to keel over. She wanted to get handcuffed and put in jail before she died.
Oh, to knock it off the bucket list.
To knock it off the bucket list.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Have you seen that one? Yeah. So, there's just stuff like that.
Yeah. Part of, just to inform the audience again, part of what we do is we look at a lot of social media topics, articles, ads, and just to comment, and it gives us some topics that we just like, we either find entertaining in ourselves, we just want to discuss, maybe get some opinions, and that was definitely a topic. I read one just right before we started today, which I think is absolutely just the dumbest clickbait kind of storyline or whatever, but scientists confirm. They confirm. Scientists confirm.
These scientists.
Right.
Okay?
I love that when
These
they
quote
confirm.
unquote scientists.
Because I did have to click on it just to see the rest, but they confirm.
Now that I know they're scientists, I'd give it a little more credit.
Of course.
Go ahead, yeah.
So scientists confirm that dogs can smell bad people. You see what I'm saying? Our initial reaction is just of laughter. It's ridiculous. So the other day we were talking about all the scientists doing research on the coronavirus. Clearly, scientists are getting paid to come up with this bullshit.
Of course.
But they confirm that dogs can smell bad people. What's your take on that?
I want to know what their experiment was, how they did the experiment. I should have been a scientist.
Sure,
I should have been a
waste more
scientist.
taxpayers' dollars.
There's so many tests and experiments that I see that I kind of find flaws on because
like every test.
Because I feel like I'm a very logical guy. I'm a very logical thinker, and just from the headlines alone, or any headlines for that matter, I'm just skeptical of the article to begin with. Any article. So I'll click on most of the articles with the headlines that catches me, and I'll start reading it just to kind of see what writers write about as opposed to what they write on the headlines.
Right.
And
the headline has nothing to do with the story.
Absolutely. Most of the time.
That's the clickbait we talk about.
Right.
That's what it's about.
And I don't blame them because they want the article to be read. They want the article to have attention. And that's the way to do it. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them.
But it goes back to Trump saying fake news, because in essence, he's right.
Yeah.
That this world has turned into clickbait. People can write anything they want and make up facts. They have, but people read it and they think it's real. Whether this is real
they read the headlines and that's all they do.
That's why we're talking about it. It's ridiculous. We're talking about the headline of this stupid ad or story.
Yeah.
And I went into a little depth on it and I lost interest because I don't buy it. I think there's more that researchers can be doing than figuring out that dogs smell bad people. So what makes someone bad, right?
So exactly. So my question is, okay, why don't we play how would you do this experiment? Okay.
Well, we're not the researchers, but let's just say there's 25 good people and 5 bad people.
Okay.
And what considers them bad? Let's just say they abuse their pets at home.
So I want to, right. So I guess my way of doing it, or okay, let's say some scientist's way of doing it, we're going to go to prison and we're going to take out criminals. We're going to take out 25 criminals, line them up. We're going to go to the general public or the people all right, and line them up and have these dogs smell them and have these dogs smell the prisoners. So now, then they start going, oh yeah, this dog smelled these prisoners and these dogs smell, and then they I don't know, I don't even know what the signal is. How do you signal? How do you have the dog signal that this is how do you train him to signal the scientist saying this is what I think a bad person is and this is my signal for it. This is my signal for a good person and this is what I'm going to do.
1 bark for good and 2 barks for bad.
Right, exactly. So then I want to go deeper. So you line up these 25 prisoners, but you have to know what they did. Did they do white collar crime? Did they do murder? Did they do drugs? So my true experiment would be line 25 people up who are in for murder and who are in for violent murder.
And guaranteed guilty of the crime.
And you interviewed each one of them, and you feel like you yourself, and then of course that person has to be, I guess, interviewed of what they think a bad person is. Right. So they have to consider these people bad people by interviewing them, not just lining them up because they're from prison. And then second, they have to kind of dress them in regular clothes because what if the dog is just signaled to the prison uniform?
Right. I think you took a turn there because I think now you're trying to have the dog smell a criminal as opposed to a bad person. For instance,
so exactly that's what I want. I want to change everything. I want them to be made into a regular person as much as possible by changing their clothes. In fact, don't even do it in the prison.
But
put it in a white room. In a white room.
I get what you're saying.
And do one person, and then put the criminal right beside that one, and then put a criminal right beside that criminal, and then put a good person.
Right.
Everything's random.
Well, Right. It's a silly story to me. And I think they probably pay these researchers millions of dollars. And
I don't think so.
when
Probably
someone,
interns.
that's like three people can enter the house and the dog goes to the good person because they smell that owner has a dog on them.
Right.
And to the dog,
They
that's a
smell
good
food.
person.
They just ate a steak.
Yeah, exactly. And the other two, they're cat lovers or they're not dog lovers. And they don't go down to pet the dog.
Right.
So the dog senses they don't really like me. That's what but to have a research on this, even the topic is ridiculous. And these people are getting paid to do this research.
So just
that's
by
the
me,
way I think on that topic.
And then just thinking about it right now, for me to say all these things that I would do,
Sure.
it just seems like a lengthy, in-depth experiment for something that
It's pointless.
is
Yeah,
pointless.
That's what I was going with. I mean, but yet researchers are being paid. I've heard
I think-
studies before though in college and stuff. They get these grants, $500,000 to find out how frequently mice fuck or something. It's so
Sure.
stupid.
Well,
but all this grant money and the most ridiculous things. I don't know.
Well, I think
what
maybe
it makes me
they're
think of.
using researchers and scientists very loosely. They could be interns. I mean,
College grads,
college
undergrads or
grads
something.
that graduated from
But they
science
still get grants.
degree.
They get paid to do
Sure,
this
they could
research.
just
It's just meaningless research. I think the meaningless research topics is just ridiculous. I mean, it's just because they're getting paid all this money to do ridiculous work.
But I did see, so I did see that article, and of course, I scrolled through the comments, and one comment stuck out to me saying, this one lady said, this might not be true because some dogs, I'm a good person, and some dogs don't like me, and some dogs do.
There you go.
And it's like, so just that alone makes me want to extend the experiment to even test 10 dogs.
You're really into this.
10 different dogs and do
answers.
the exact same experiment and
Yeah.
see if each dog did the exact same thing. That's, you know what I mean? That's the kind of, I bet you they didn't do it in that in depth.
But just like anything else, it's 52% of our study proves that
But I mean,
48 proves the opposite.
Would you say that would be proven true if I did do that experiment and let's say I took 20 dogs
All right.
and each of those 20 dogs somehow established a signal that this dog does this to when they meet a bad person, and each of those 25 dogs did the exact same thing to each prisoner, and each of those 25 dogs did the exact same thing to each good, quote unquote, good person. Would you believe that dogs?
I would believe that more often than not if conclusively your theory was proved correct.
Sure,
like 100%.
And I would believe that experiment. I guarantee you, they didn't take 25 dogs, and
Absolutely
that didn't
not.
happen.
No.
They didn't take 25 prisoners who
But
were
it probably
convicted
was a
of murder.
10-year study, and a couple of dogs smelled some people who were bad and good, and they went to the good. But I mean, it's just a ridiculous headline to me, though. But we view it like you want more extensive research, because now you want to see that's bullshit.
Yes.
You want to analyze it.
I'm more
You want to analyze the research. I'm just saying I can't believe we paid people to do this
Well,
research,
I
which
think-
is bullshit anyway.
I think my thing is trying to debunk the research.
Yes,
the article.
I like-
my way of doing it is
just to debunk it, right? I buy all of the crap that is as seen on TV. I continually buy the product to debunk it because I know I'm getting screwed. To this day, I purchase these items to say I knew it didn't work, and then I'm the guy going, "I want a refund," or I usually just keep it, but it never works.
Right.
you
Well,
know?
I think they're preying on that. They do such a good advertisement.
Oh,
They do
yeah.
such a good pitch that they're like, listen, they're probably in the little conference room going, look, guys, these products don't work. We know they don't work. We don't care if they work, but this guy right here, he's gonna sell it because
it all
watch
comes-
this.
it all
and
comes
there
back.
he goes. Sham wow. Just
There's a sucker born every minute.
Well, I mean, and it's just like any other item. The shavers that you see that says, as seen on TV shaver, it's the same exact shaver you see in aisle
Absolutely,
10.
yeah, it's worse.
Yeah, it's just now it's cheaper because it's from China.
It is unbelievable, though. But yeah, I'd still buy all those products, and because they look amazing. But I'm actually buying it to debunk it. So I have that understanding.
Well, you
I
should
already-
start a
but then
YouTube channel on that.
But then I'm angry when it doesn't work. But I bought it knowing this bullshit. It doesn't work. But yet I want to prove it to myself and it's all the movie magic and the commercials. They have something that's so dirty. They wipe it once and it's like beautiful. You ever see the aging cream? They even say it's time lapse. It's like 4 minutes, and it's clearly the movie magic.
Oh, some of those got me. Some of those got me. Like the what's that one where he has this? And I caught this too because I'm secretly like a scientist.
Sure.
So the one where there's a barrel of water and
Okay.
there's a hole and he slaps the tape on it
yeah.
and it stops.
Yeah.
Right?
It's Flex Shield stuff.
Flex.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's in the family of the Flex.
Flex something. Flex.
Yeah.
Flex. Yeah, flex something.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, I see
so if any of you want to YouTube that commercial, this barrel of water. There's a hole. Supposedly, this barrel of water has an insane amount of water in it, right? So the hole is actually towards the top, and of course, it's pouring water because there's still water above the hole. So he slaps the tape on there, and it stops the water. But put the hole on the bottom, where all the pressure and the weight of the water is.
Right.
So it's such a slight, a very slight
of hand, and
yeah, exactly,
trickery.
It's so slight.
Yeah.
The what do you call the presentation of it that you don't notice. Oh my God, look at all that it stopped all that water.
Right.
But in reality, it's only stopping 3 inches of water as opposed to what's actually
if it's stopping it. But it's not like the tape's there for it's for a second.
Oh,
and
sure.
So,
they have
leave
the
it there
camera
for
on
an
there
hour.
for a second.
Leave it there for an hour and see if
Right.
water starts pouring out or something, or how long does the tape last. But they seal up the plumbing and the pipes, and basically you can repair your whole house with a thing of tape, right? I mean, every repair in your house can be done with Flex Seal tape.
Well, he made a boat out of it. Remember?
Yeah. He's sitting on the screen,
Yeah.
and he just fills it in, and ridiculous. But yet I have tons of that product in my house.
But it got me because I got the tape. Because it's probably just as good as duct tape. It could be a little
basically duct
stronger.
tape.
But I got it anyway, just because in case I need something stronger than duct tape.
Did you try the one where it's the headlights, where
Flex
your headlights
Seal.
are foggy?
Flex Seal.
And you get it's like a little lens cleaner pad.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
just takes it
absolutely.
restores your headlamps.
Right.
That didn't work for me.
It did work for me, but it worked temporarily.
Yeah, a
it
few
just
minutes.
basically, if you can use WD-40. It's the same. WD-40 will do the exact same thing instantly, but this is actually like a sealant where it goes on and it dries. It dries.
Didn't work on my headlights.
You can probably use like a Minwax, what do you call it, sealant.
And that's the thing. There's always an alternative product that does the same job that these, things are supposed to be, working on. One recently where they put it on a toothbrush that, it's a little yellow bowl of water, like all trash, cigarette butts. It's to whiten your teeth.
Oh, yeah.
And they just stir it and it immediately
It
becomes
turns white.
Yeah. Like in seconds.
Sure.
And then you buy it and it's like, no, you need to try this product for 6 months, 30 minutes in the morning and at night or whatever it is. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah,
But in the commercial, it's just, seconds.
Right,
Right. Oh, yeah, white. Or, there's just so many. But I continually buy them and pretty much, I don't know of a product that's ever truly worked as seen on TV products. I don't know of any.
By the way, that steam one,
it's a joke.
where you put water and then steam comes out and you can clean your tile. In the commercial, you see mold on between the tiles, and the steam, the steam just you steam it and it comes right out.
Yeah.
That does not work. I've tried it.
You ever get the furniture?
That one got me.
The furniture pen. If you have a scratch in your wood furniture and you just kind of color it and then it
Sure.
just goes away. Same with the one on the vehicle, on the car paint.
Oh yeah, the car
doesn't
paint.
work well.
The car
crap.
paint. Yeah, it's
Pretty crazy, man. Cheers. So good, huh?
yeah. I love Moscato.
Excuse me. One of the reasons I wanted that wine, not only for the go up to Las Cruces Winery, but it brought back a memory about 28 years ago, probably when we first tried wine and got drunk in Albuquerque,
the
New
pool?
Mexico. Do you
Playing
remember
pool?
that? Playing pool.
We were drinking White Zin.
White Zin. That's exactly. And so
I think I was 20,
probably 21.
21, 22.
Yeah. It was roughly around 1992, 93. And for the viewers, this is the first time we tried wine, and we drank it like it was water because it tasted so good.
And we felt like we were high society.
That's right, exactly. We're drinking wine. We, went to a pool hall and we just drank White Zin the entire night. I got hustled by a pool shark.
Yes,
for the first
I remember
time.
that. I remember that.
First game, yeah, I remember that.
Absolutely.
First
he
game,
did
I kinda won.
he did like a 2-bank shot.
No,
and
it was
he sank
ridiculous.
He sank it right in. It's like, oh, he'll never get this. And bam, he sure he did.
Yeah.
What was that, like $20 or something?
Yeah, it was funny though.
Oh my God.
And then we got totally sick, man. Just throwing up wine later in the parking lot. You remember that? Really? And then I probably didn't drink wine for probably 10 years until I don't know. And then now I love wine, but I need to expand my wine options. I'm always sticking to
Your wine palate.
Right. Well, I love Moscato. I think it's delicious. And again, I need to expand. But anyway, so the other day I'm watching this TV show. I'm not sure if you've ever seen it, but Doomsday Preppers.
Yeah.
It is by far the most entertaining show.
Absolutely.
And what a bunch of retards on this show.
Well, I actually wouldn't mind. If I had a lot of money, I would have a doomsday bunker myself.
I would 100%, but the way some of these people are, what they're spending their money on, they're just basically prepping for someone else to, take all their food. It's just retarded. I mean, there was one guy growing vegetables and having his garden, which was awesome. And then for protecting his property, he didn't have anything because he didn't even believe in guns.
Nah,
Like,
yeah,
that's just ridiculous.
right. It's pointless.
That's pointless. You're just feeding the Negans of the world and, the Walking Dead, It's just unbelievable, but I would totally be a prepper. I love it, but
absolutely.
you have to do it the right way.
Sure.
I mean, they always have a bug out vehicle, and then where are you going? You're going to run out of gas. What's your plan?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
bug out of what?
You gotta have a tank. You gotta have a tanker. A tanker. You have to.
But where are you going to go?
You have to
live in your tank?
collect gasoline.
Exactly. And so I think the best thing is to fortify your own house, but, generators and plenty of food and water,
It's
of
gotta be
course.
solar. Yeah.
Yeah, could spend the money that way on solar and air and alternative power sources, stuff like that. But these people are doing the most ridiculous things, and I just don't understand it. I know it's got to be for the show, just because it's entertaining. Because not everyone can be an awesome prepper, because then you wouldn't have a
absolutely.
show.
Well, right. Shows thrive on conflict and
A little controversy, maybe, or just
conflict, controversy, and silliness.
and so, yeah, and exactly. But
No one's gonna watch niceness,
right.
regular, normal, and perfect all the time.
Right, it wouldn't be entertaining if everything was perfect. I get that, but it's so embarrassing to watch some of these people. This one guy had a beautiful home on the side of a mountain, and he spent all his money on security, which was awesome. This was like impenetrable,
Yeah.
But he had no food, he had no water, so he's basically in a tomb. What's he gonna do?
Right. Yeah.
It's funny. Like, people focus on one area instead of in every area, food, water, and security, and But at the end of the show, what I always love is they give the prepper a certain amount of time, how long they would live if this catastrophe took place, and they rate them and they score them, and a lot of people are only like 3 or 4 months. Which is, I guess, a lot of time, but I don't know. It just seems like they're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they're going to live an extra 3 months. I mean,
Yeah, you're just prolonging the inevitable.
yeah, but what's your plan after 3 months? I mean,
I guess within those 3 months, you're planning your continuation. At least you
have 3 months to
you
do
have
it.
3 months. You
Yeah, I
have 3
guess
months to plan and see where the world is at.
you're hoping it
In a month.
resolves itself.
Either it resolves itself, or after a month or two, that's the baseline of how the world is. There's either nothing out there, or there's these pockets of places or
Yeah.
places where you can get resources. So now, instead of having a week of a week window of that baseline,
Sure.
now you have 3 months.
Sure.
Because after a week, you might not know what baseline is after the apocalypse.
True. I guess it makes sense, but some of these people are just, like I said, very entertaining, and
I
they
get it.
focus
I get it.
everything on one area. When grow a garden, great. They're putting fish. There's fish tanks and lizards and everything they're going to eat. But if you don't have security, if you're not going to be able to defend yourself,
Right, yeah.
and they
If
don't
you're-
believe in violence, so it's like, yeah, but your neighbor, when they're starving, is going to believe in violence.
Anyone, yeah.
I mean, but very entertaining show. So if you were a prepper, what do you think is most important? If you only had resources to do one of the 5 areas, are you just going to stockpile fuel so you have your bug out vehicle and be on the road like the Road Warrior?
Well, I guess the only logical thing that you could prep on is weapons.
I would
Security and weapons, so that you can protect your house from marauders, and then after you've protected your house and you're running out of food, then you have the weapons to maraud people.
that, or you can go hunting,
Or you can go hunting, yeah.
depending on what the catastrophe is.
You go hunting.
But when the zombies come, you need weapons.
Right.
I'm just saying. I think one day it'll be like that movie 28 Days Later, where it'll be an infection, because that's what it was. If you remember, they were
Right,
infected with
sure.
rage.
Right.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And so they weren't zombies in that movie. They were just infected, and they had this rage, and they were like zombified, but, they were just, infected. And we, like with the coronavirus, there's always a virus coming out. But luckily, it seems like for us, for humans, every virus that comes out basically just breaks down your immune system and kills you. It's a cold. It's AIDS or H1N1 or what is it, SARS. I mean, it's all like a pneumonia kind of thing. But what if there was the next virus that comes out and gives you the rage, and people are freaking out? You ever see that one video on social media? And clearly they were just
They're
under
on
the
meth.
influence of drugs. Yeah, they were meth heads.
Basically, it's on that.
Right, exactly. But they look like little zombies.
I
Do
think
you
it
remember
was
that one?
bath salts. Bath salts is what made this lady crazy, and she started like eating a person.
Yeah, and it looked like the
mentally. Yeah.
it was coming. But-
Suddenly they're zombies. Yeah.
But aren't we very lucky that there hasn't been a virus that created such rage, or just,
Yeah, they created such a reaction to the human body that
yeah, you melt down, your brain,
like
whatever.
what is it, like rabies? What does rabies do?
Fucks you up.
Does it make you rage? I know it does in animals, right?
Wow.
They start foaming in the mouth, and
Oh yeah,
remember Old Yeller?
Wow, Cujo.
He had rabies.
Cujo had rabies. Got bit by the bat. He stuck his nose in. He was chasing like a rabbit, and a bat bit him and gave him rabies, and then he went crazy. but I don't know of anyone.
So if someone gets rabies, do they go crazy?
I don't know. In people, it's I don't recall even hearing anybody with rabies.
Well, yeah, because you get a rabies shot and you're not going to get
Right.
it. No one should be getting rabies because
But you would think in the
third world countries.
yeah, I mean, they get bit by something, they don't know any better. But you never hear about rabies anymore.
Yeah, look that up.
Yeah, we're gonna have to on that one. I mean, when was the last time you heard of anyone? Oh,
Anyone eating someone?
where's Charlie today? Well, he got the rabies today. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
you never hear about it. But wouldn't that be something if there was a virus that, hey, the next virus, these people are going crazy, like they're meth heads, you know, crack babies and just running around, and now they're biting people, and then the bite infects others. You know, like rabies would be, I guess.
I'm sure that's how zombie movies started. Someone thinking about that same thing.
Sure, World War Z, that was a good one. That's how it
that
got
was
started.
good. That was good.
They're supposed to be making part 2, but I don't know. I haven't heard anything. So
I like apocalyptic movies. My favorite one is The Day After, with a climate change.
Oh yeah, the day
I
after
really
tomorrow.
like that one. Sometimes I'll fall asleep to that. I'll just put that on the DVD player,
Yeah.
and I'll fall asleep to it. I don't know why apocalyptic movies kind of
They soothe you.
They do.
Yeah.
I think it's because it's not happening. It's kind of like a storm where I like storms when you're inside a house that you're safe.
Yeah.
So storms to me I feel like are kind of soothing. Or
That's interesting.
Or I like storms when you're inside. Obviously, if you're out changing a tire, you're not going to like a storm.
Right.
But if you're at home and it's pouring rain, you hear the rain outside, and maybe some thunder here and there.
Well, sure.
I find it kind of relaxing and comforting.
And so I sleep to the sounds of rain and thunder.
I
and stuff like
have
that.
to sleep with rain sounds. You
Yeah,
know?
it is peaceful in a weird way, but
So I don't know if putting on a movie of an apocalyptic nature somehow is doing the same, gives me the same feeling.
yeah.
I don't know how that works. I'm sure there's some kind of psychological term for that.
Did you like the Book of Eli?
I did. I like the Book of Eli.
I like
yeah.
that. But
It's an
you know,
apocalyptic movie. Almost any
All of
name an apocalyptic movie, I probably watched it and I probably liked it.
and classics like the Road Warrior.
Oh, Road Warrior. Yeah. I think maybe not everyone, but I think some people have like that fantasy of the world going into apocalypse so that they don't have to do their normal routine anymore.
They don't have to go to work.
They don't
pay
have to go to
bills.
work. They don't have to pay bills, but they go back to their instincts and they have to survive.
Right.
And then they start thinking, oh, what would I do? I would, make this weapon. I would fortify my house this way.
Right.
I would fortify my car this way. And to me, that's kind of, I would kind of have fun, actually.
It would be different, and I agree. I like those movies because to me they're thought provoking. Like, wow, what would I do? Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, but they're definitely entertaining. But the Book of Eli, I just watched again the other day, and it was excellent.
Yeah. I'm sure the people that have, families and have a family life and, they have a great job. And I mean, my job's not bad either, but I bet they probably don't feel like that.
Because they have more to lose.
Well, you're right, exactly. They're like, I don't want to lose this life.
I don't
This
have
is
to eat my
I'm having a
children.
great life.
I don't want to eat my children.
Right.
You
Right.
know.
I don't want to have to go out and look for gas so I can. Yeah.
Right. Oh, it makes sense.
But there's got to be some kind of appeal to it because they make video games that sell millions all the time, and these video games
Oh,
are
yeah.
based on zombies and apocalyptic periods.
And every movie though, it does great.
And
I mean,
movies
people love it. The
with
TV,
that theme
TV
goes-
shows
yeah.
or zombies or anything.
Mhm.
So, are you a Walking Dead fan? Do you consider
Absolutely.
yourself a Walking Dead fan?
I
love the
am.
show.
When it first began, it's starting to slow down for me right now. It's starting to
Yeah.
some of the episodes are a little.
I'm a huge
slow.
fan. Yeah, I'm a huge fan. I love the show, and I just feel like becoming redundant. There's not much, like, I don't know, whatever happens after the battle right now with the Whisperers and so forth, but where do they go? They're just going to meet another group that's trying to
Yeah,
fight them.
it's the same thing.
It becomes the same
Yeah.
thing, and I still like it, and I'll be a fan till the show ends. But I would like something different to take place.
I have
but
an
I
idea.
don't know what. What's the idea?
So I have an idea, and
Let's hear
you
it.
know what? I thought of writing it, and I thought of not saying it to anyone because what if someone takes my idea and goes with it? You know what? At this point, I don't care.
What's your
And
idea?
my idea is probably going to stay in my head, and I'll die with it. So I'm going to go ahead and put this out there for all you zombie producers, and at least try to give me credit. Maybe contact me and give me the premiere ticket,
There you
free.
Make that too.
Make that too. So here's my idea.
All right.
So it's post-apocalypse, of course. Zombies are already, established.
All right.
And this is like 10, 15 years now. They're still zombies.
Okay.
They are now making the zombies as a resource. So
Oh, okay.
you
So
make a
it's-
car so you have a car, right?
I see what you're saying.
You have zombies in the back, tied in a harness.
Right.
They're trying to come after you, propelling that car,
Yeah, creating energy and
creating energy.
Yeah.
So you're driving around, the zombies are powering everything.
And they're
You have little large hamster wheels.
create wind or water wheels,
whatever,
whatever.
yeah, to create energy because the zombies are trying to run after
Right.
you. Just stuff like that. You're using the zombies as a resource now.
Don't have to I don't think you have to worry about anyone stealing your idea.
What are you saying? It's not a good idea?
No. I'd say it might be good for a dream sequence in one of the episodes to where someone's trying, like, for a little comedy.
But I mean, I'm thinking...
I do like it, but to sustain a show like that, the only thing I can think of, what I think the show needs to do and take, is at some point, the zombies are gonna kind of modify and start becoming fast. You know what I mean? Like they do in some zombie movies, like World War Z.
Yeah.
I like slow zombies, but in order to keep the show going, there has to be
something different.
Yeah, I don't think... They're killing more zombies than there are people. So how do you keep having hordes and hordes of zombies? I mean, where are they coming from?
Well, there's 300... How many billions of people are there in the world?
But that's the world. But in this section...
In this continent? Well, there's 300 million Americans.
Right. But in this section of the show, there's not 300 million. And the thing is, every community is killing their own. But it seems like there's more zombies all the time. And there's only patches of groups of people. And when they become a zombie on the smaller level, they're easily killed individually. And so it doesn't really make sense how they just keep more and more zombies. I mean,
they keep appearing
in hordes,
right?
And they keep getting killed.
So
if you wipe out a horde, there really shouldn't be another horde for a while,
right?
You know,
right.
And then it just takes you in a tank or a truck to just slowly just run them over, and or a steamroller even. And when you can ring the dinner bell and they go to sound, it's very easy to just, you know, when they're at the gates, you just walk around the gate, ring your dinner bell, and then they all just start following you, and then you know that there was
or dig a moat.
There's so much.
Dig a huge moat,
and they just fall into it,
and then you light them everyone just keeps falling into it.
That's it. And you just leave them there if you wanted to.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Or have stakes on the ground and they fall into themselves. Yeah.
But you remember the one episode when they were in the junkyard, and she rang the dinner bell, and they just all started walking and falling into the grinder. And she got rid of them, all of them, like very quickly. And so when you see those strategies in the show, it doesn't make sense why it's always chaotic, you know? Like, it seems very easy to have a bullhorn. They're gonna leave everyone alone and go where the sound is, and then but they've done it already in the show, where they lead all of the herd away from the community. So I love seeing that, but then it's like they forgot how to
do it again,
yeah. I mean, just hit your horn, go 2 miles an hour, and they just follow you.
Well, that's why they need these groups that start fighting each other.
Exactly, so and I believe in the groups.
Derails that process,
right? And
it keeps the story going.
And I do believe the communities, the different communities, they're either going to try to work together, and then other communities will fight, because that's our basic kind of human characteristics. We're warriors. Everyone's a beast. You know, they're you know. That's the only part of the show that I actually like, are the groups fighting each other instead of coming together. Because I don't think in the real world every group would get together. We don't get together now as a world, as communities. I mean, we really don't. So if zombies were out there, I mean, we would still be fighting each other plus the zombies. But all I'm saying is, I think that the next evolution of the zombie in that show, they need to somehow start seeing some of them. Yeah, some of them are going faster and slowly evolving somehow. I don't know if that's even possible, but
yeah, I mean, maybe they're getting hungrier so that they're getting faster. I mean, it's just in theory, they should be starving to death. Yeah,
and you do see a lot of them that are just skeletons almost. That's why they're just so slow, and it seems easy to kill them off. But I don't even know if that would make it a better show if they went faster. More, you know, all the haters would say that's just stupid now, and maybe so. I don't even know if I would like it, but there has to be something to keep the show going. Otherwise, you're just more groups of fighting each other. But the groups themselves there has been so many differences in the groups, which I do like the walkers, or what are they called? The
whisperers.
The whisperers, you know, with the masks and stuff of the zombies, in a sense. It's pretty cool, you know. But I want to see Negan's storyline, and then they're supposed to be making the movies.
Right.
You know, Rick's supposed to be in 3 movies, so I'm pumped. I can't wait, because it said August of 2020, I believe, is the first one on AMC, I believe.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if they come across a community in the next season that is using zombies as a resource.
Well, then they stole your idea, and we're going to start...
and you heard it here first on March 1st,
that's right.
2020.
There you go. Yeah, I see a payday coming.
No.
But that would be, I mean, it would be interesting if they did it right, you know? And like that, Michonne did that in the beginning, you know? She chopped off the arms and ripped out their
mouths,
their jaws, so they couldn't bite you, and they couldn't grab you, and they just walked.
Yeah, well,
you know? So that was a resource.
They were considering her, because those 2 zombies were around her all the time, they just considered her a zombie.
Well, they couldn't do anything to her either. I mean, but yeah, she was like the Walking Dead.
Right.
But I think the original 2, I think one was like her husband and her son, or something like that. Something, I don't recall the relationship, but they were like family, and she didn't want to get rid of them, and
so she just tied him to elation.
That was it, and they walked the earth. But it's exciting. You into any shows right now?
No, I am so busy. I don't even have time to watch anything. I have so many on my list. I've got a long list of shows. I mean, I'm one of the very few people that hasn't seen Breaking Bad yet. I have
Crazy.
not seen Mandalorian. Supposedly
seen
that's
that
good.
either, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many. You know,
There's too much content these days.
What you said? The Irish one. What is that one?
The Irishman?
No, the Irish one.
Sons of Anarchy?
No, I've already seen that one. Something.
Which one?
The series you're currently watching, Peaky Blinders.
Oh, Peaky Blinders.
Is
Excellent.
that Irish?
Yeah. They're
Anyway,
English.
you told me that was good.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
there's so
no,
many on my
England.
list. I just don't have time. If
Birmingham.
we wouldn't be doing this
Yeah.
if I were watching what I wanted to watch,
That's true.
or if I.
There's only so many hours in the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Same reason I'm not in a relationship right now, because I'm working and I kind of want, I like doing this. I want to
too.
I want to do this. I want to get this off the ground. And I just feel like if I started concentrating on being in a relationship again, I wouldn't do anything.
so you're saying relationships demotivate you to do anything?
Well, they don't demotivate you. They just take up your time, because you want to concentrate on it. You don't want to do the relationship half-assed unless you're doing this with your partner.
True,
Then that would
true.
be different. But sometimes, like my woodworking, whoever I was dating before wasn't into that, and
I thought she was going to help you do some projects. And
well, she's got kids, and she's got a life of she's got a job. And
I got
she's got a
enough
life of
time
her
for
own.
that shit.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, when it comes to hobbies and activities, it is hard to fit them all in. It's very hard.
well, and being in a relationship,
Yeah, absolutely.
because you want to.
It's hard to split all your time up everywhere and
Absolutely.
then give
And do it
100%.
well,
Right.
exactly.
It's hard to give 100% to any one thing if you have your time split
Right.
everywhere.
Right.
And I totally get it. Very, very difficult at times, For all you political followers, Mayor Pete dropped out of the presidential race today.
Pete Buttigieg.
Yeah.
Buttigieg.
Yeah, that's a tough name. That's
that.
why I think he wasn't going to become president. No one can pronounce his last name, or is it just me? I call him Mayor Pete.
Well, I don't know if America was ready for a gay president.
I don't know. I mean, I still think he's going to become maybe
Something?
a vice president. I think there was, because he dropped out before Super Tuesday, and I think there's some back office dealings going on. He's a very brilliant guy.
Yeah, I'm sure he's great.
He's very young. He's got a long career ahead of him in
a lot
politics.
of the Christians and all that. I think the Christian vote is a significant vote.
Yeah, it's huge.
I don't know if the Christian vote would have fancied him.
Well, I could see him being a running mate, but I like.
But then would whoever needed a running mate, would they risk that? Unfortunately, it's just the world we live in. I'm not against gays.
No, I don't know.
So I just feel like that would be
wouldn't have enough
something to
support.
think about.
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean? Something negative to think about if they were choosing a partner. They want a partner that would appeal to everyone.
I wish it was Mayor Pete against like Warren, because now you have the first female president or the first gay president.
And the first gay vice president.
And how would it be, But do you think America's ready for a woman president? Or just not those
Hillary
candidates?
had the best chance.
And she got destroyed when it came down to it. And I'm not saying
She had the best chance. I don't think there's anyone else that's going to come close.
not in this race. I don't see it happening. But it's gonna be interesting to see who beats Trump.
I'm not,
goes up against him.
The
Anyway.
thing with politics is, I'm amazed. I'm so glad everyone has different interests, because I have no interest in politics, and
Why do you not have interest?
it just doesn't interest me.
Is it because your vote doesn't matter,
No,
or
no, it's
they're
just-
all the same?
No,
They're all crooks.
I mean, I guess maybe I don't have enough information on it, but I remember in high school, people were asking. I think there was a teacher who said, "Hey, so what? Let's show of hands. Who wants to do what?" And I think I raised my hand with science and engineering, but then there was this one guy who raised his hand for political science, and I'm like, how does that even appeal to a high schooler? But from a person that young for politics to
He's probably in
appeal to
student
that.
government. He's probably in student government. Learning more
You're
about
absolutely
it.
right.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about student government. I mean, but how does that? It just doesn't interest me.
I like politics, and I think I would have made a great.
I don't know the ranks of government. Like who's next? I mean, obviously the vice president's next, and then I don't know who's after the vice president.
The
I'm
Speaker
so
of the
bad.
House.
Speaker of the House.
Yeah, so Nancy Pelosi would be the president if those two got knocked out.
Yeah, that's great
But-
that you know that.
But it's the sad thing is I think most of America feels kind of the same. No one really knows the inner workings of Congress and our government. I don't believe the average person knows these things. But the problem I have is the false promises they all make. They'll say anything to get elected. Bernie saying everything's free, kind of attitude, and he has a good argument on everything, and it sounds wonderful. If he could get, half of the things passed that he promises that he wants to do, that'd be amazing. But I think everyone knows that he's not going to get anything done. And so it's just like these false promises. That's what bothers me. it's entertaining, and they all lie. They're all corrupt. I mean, it all goes back to that old joke that how do you know a politician's lying?
He's moving his lips.
He's moving his lips. Yeah, we all know that one. It's not even funny anymore because we all know it's true, and it's sad. And yeah, and now you know what's funny when these politicians are on stage or whatever they do, the next day then the media goes, all right, let's find out. They fact check. How many times did he lie? Like it's not even new. That should be newsworthy, like a story. That it should be illegal for them to lie to the American people.
Right. They shouldn't.
But they don't.
They shouldn't have to go through that process to begin with. People shouldn't have to fact check
Anything.
Anything.
It should be
because
true.
It should be true. It should just be true.
And I don't even care if the questions that they're asked are, they know the questions ahead of time, so they have the right information, correct information. Like, why are we trying to stump somebody?
Well,
Let them know the questions because we want to know the real facts. That's what pisses me off. Why are we trying to stump somebody?
Well, I think
we got you.
Well, I think partly is because we want to know what kind of knowledge they have. You know what I mean? If I mean, anyone could just look at a test answer and then take the test home and answer everything correctly but we want to know how these people do under pressure. We want to know what kind of information they have at the tip of their brains.
Okay.
We want to know how they answer it and how they talk, as opposed to just they already know the answer and they just memorize that script and they answer it perfectly. Everyone's going to have a perfect answer. So
I would rather have truth than not.
But is that truth? I think the truth is. I think. Well, no. I think so. Your truth is different from my truth. My truth is this is their knowledge. What I find is true is this is their. I guess I don't know if truth is the right word.
Absolutely not.
But this is their true self. This is how they really are. Are they a dumbass or are they well spoken? Are they very knowledgeable to whatever subject you throw at them? That to me is the truth of this person. That's this person's true self.
But a fact is a fact,
right?
And when it's now common that they have to fact check, and then it's reported, oh, he lied 72 times. It's like he should be disqualified for lying.
Sure, yeah.
But we're at a stage where you can say anything. I don't like broken promises. That's what I don't like. I don't like
no
people
one
that.
does.
But they'll say anything to get elected, and that's why I think a lot of people are ignorant to the fact that they think no matter who the next president is, it's bullshit. They don't do anything. They get nothing done. They fight each other. Democrats and Republicans, they battle each other, and they keep us as pawns.
See,
Once again, it all comes back to chess.
I don't get that either. I don't get the division of labels.
Well,
I mean, if something's right,
parties.
if a certain principle is right,
how can you be wrong?
well, shouldn't each party embrace that principle?
Well, that's where we're at. Yeah,
So-
Republicans that say one thing, and Democrats another, and they can't agree. So let's just say abortion. You might be pro-life, and someone's pro-choice. And where do you come to terms?
So is that Democrat? Or, is pro-life Democrat or Republican?
Democrats.
Democrats are pro-life.
No, Republicans are pro-life. Unless you come on my
See,
property, we could take you
but
and
I
kill you with our Second
I
Amendment.
guarantee you, not all Republicans are pro-life,
No,
right?
not all. But
See, that's
it's very confusing because everyone has their own stance of, when can you terminate a baby?
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I believe it has nothing to do with me. Like, it's your baby. Do whatever the fuck you want with it, But if you want to have an abortion, there are people against
your
that.
body.
But there are people against that.
Yeah, it's more like your body. It's your
thing. But then if you have a kid
You're the
and you
one that
can't
has
take
to-
care, but if you can't take care of that kid, now my taxes are paying for the system. You're a burden on society.
I guarantee you, if I
everyone's
had
so
a
different.
choice that if there was a growing human in me and in 9 months I had to push it out of this tiny hole, it's not going to happen.
But it should
I'm
be.
going to be a murderer, I guess, because
If you
I'm
believe
not
that's
gonna,
murder.
I'm not going to be.
But do you believe that's murder?
No.
Well, there you go. But other people would believe it, and that's
so-
why it's you get to the that spectrum of I'm a pretty moderate conservative, which means I'm pretty moderate. I'm not the extreme on anything. Like I like to think it out and go, what's best for me and my family? How's it going to affect me? Like if you're I can't say trainee because that's derogatory. I guess they get offended. But if you're a
Transgender person.
I don't give a fuck. It means nothing to me. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what do I care what you do?
Yeah.
But yet some of those people would care that I'm not fighting for you and your rights. You know what I'm saying? We all have rights, but doesn't make me against you. Just I don't care.
Yeah.
That's my thing. Like guns. I'm 100% in favor of guns. But, I also believe people should have the right to bear arms. But, we should have background checks. I mean, that's only smart. And I think everyone should have a safety course. You know? I mean, I don't understand that. And I think if you have a felony on your record, you shouldn't own a gun. And they have, what are those,
The thing is,
red flag laws?
I guess the thing is, like there's a couple of those mass shooters that they got it from their parents. So they actually didn't get the guns was themselves. Their parents did.
And that's something that slips through the cracks. There's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah.
There's nothing. And I mean, that's why others need to be armed and to protect ourselves. But I mean, it's nothing we do in life is going to be 100%. Nothing.
Yeah, not everyone's going to agree with everyone. Never.
Isn't murdering someone else illegal? And yet it still
Last I-
happens.
Yeah, last I heard, yeah.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is it's already a law. You're not allowed to murder people, and yet there's murders all the time.
Right.
So there's already a law about it. That's what I'm trying to say is we can make anything legal or illegal, but
But it still happens.
it still happens. But there's that accountability. Someone that takes a gun from their parents' drawer and goes on and does something criminal with it, they're held accountable. But what about the rest of us? I mean, we should be able to protect ourselves, you know? But there's nothing wrong with, I'm all about common sense laws. The problem I think today is there's too many laws that no one even knows what the laws are. I mean, I see these videos on social media, a cop pulls somebody over, and it's always that one prick that knows the law, and he wants to fight with the cop, and he's escalating the situation. Instead of just, here's my ID, sir, I'm sorry, and he wants to fight with the officer.
I have a
You know what I'm trying to say?
I have a topic about that. I know. That's why I put that in front of you. So we are going to continue with our next episode next time.
And we're out?
Yes, sir.
All right.
right.
Stay humble, be kind.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for tuning in, and George, it was a pleasure.
Thanks,
Until
everyone.
next time.
Thank you very much for joining us. Remember, always be grateful, think of the things you have in life, and don't obsess about what you don't have. Keep looking forward, and always strive to be better than you were yesterday. Thanks. See you next time.
Sweet. Until next time, be kind. Take care.